Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate you watching. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. After the very unexpected and tragic deaths of Michelle and Rob Reiner on the 14th of December 2025, it got me thinking about some of my favorite experiences watching Mr. Rob Reiner's films throughout my life with certain people, certain family members, certain friends, and my parents. It got me thinking about certain special moments which this man's filmography gave me throughout my movie watching life, and so I started thinking about my top 10 favorite Rob Reiner films. Now, I talked about one of my all time favorites, Stand By Me, earlier in the month, but at the end of that video, I remember telling you guys I want to get into at least a top 10, and so that is what this video is all about. So, without further ado, let's get started with my top 10 Rob Reiner movies. Number 10, The Bucket List. This heartfelt comedy came out in 2007 and stars two of the all time greats, Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson. Freeman plays the character of Carter, an auto mechanic who is terminally ill and at the hospital meets another terminally ill man, a billionaire, Edward, Nicholson's character, and the two of them strike up a close friendship and decide they're going to do as many fun things as they can before they die, like flying above the North Pole, riding motorcycles on the Great Wall of China, going skydiving, driving their favorite muscle cars. Goes on and on. They have a ball throughout this movie, and so as the audience, it's kind of hard not to have fun along with them. And Nicholson is in top crazy guy form, doing his crazy guy shtick, that laugh that's so infectious. And Morgan Freeman is, Morgan, he's just great in everything he does. Number 9, Rob Reiner's very last film that came out just last year, the sequel to his very first film, that classic rockumentary from 1984. I'm talking about This Is Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. Never listen to what other people say. You got to check things out for yourself. That's what I learned watching this. Well, I kind of already knew that, but this just kind of reaffirmed that belief that don't listen to other people. Go and check things out for yourself and make up your own mind. Because I heard bad things about this movie, but there was nothing wrong with this. As a matter of fact, I thought this was great, and I laughed all the way through watching this with a buddy of mine. Nigel is back, David is back, Derek is back, and Christopher Guest and Harry Shearer and Michael McKean are just as funny as ever. And there are some things that happen in this movie that you kind of wanted to happen in that first one, and it's so worth the wait just watching certain things come to fruition. If you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're a fan of that first film, there are certain things that they try to do in that one that are paid off in this one, and it's really rewarding as a fan of that original Rob Reiner film from 1984. But it's fun to see these characters back again. They're just as funny as ever, and these three guys are so much fun to watch, even after so many years. And yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, if you're a fan of the first Spinal Tap, you owe it to yourself to check it out. Don't listen to the haters. Just check it out for yourself. You'll see what I mean. Number 8, The American President from 1995. This is a very charming romantic comedy with a terrific cast. Michael Douglas, Annette Bening, Martin Sheen, Michael J. Fox, Richard Dreyfuss. In the film, Michael Douglas plays President Shepard, a widowed president that has a bit of a crush on Annette Bening's character who's working at the White House. He asks her out. It's a very sweet moment. And then there's a budding romance that kind of feels like almost like a forbidden romance because he's up for re-election against Richard Dreyfuss's character, who is also running for office and tries to use this whole situation against President Shepard. And it is written by Aaron Sorkin, so this very much feels like kind of the prototype for the great show that would eventually become The West Wing. But in this movie, Michael Douglas plays one of the all-time great movie presidents, the kind of president that, even though it's fiction, you just kind of wish that we just had something like this in real life, considering the times we live in right now. But it's a great love story, so many great moments of comedy, a bit of drama there because of the politics, and another great Michael Douglas performance. Plus, Annette Bening is great, and if you enjoy a good romantic comedy and even a good kind of political type movie, I do recommend it. It's a great one. Number 7, Ghosts of Mississippi from 1996. This is a very well made and underrated drama based on a true story about the trial of white supremacist Byron De La Beckwith in an Oscar-nominated performance from James Woods. In the film and in real life, Byron De La Beckwith assassinated civil rights activist and human rights activist Medgar Evers on June 12, 1963. So it's a story that really needed to be told, And in the film, you have Alec Baldwin as the lawyer trying to bring this guy to justice. Bobby DeLauder, I believe his name was. You also have the character of Merle Evers, played by Whoopi Goldberg, the widow of Medgar Evers. And yeah, it's a very, kind of heartfelt story. It's very sad, but it's, something that really happened. It's part of our history as, people. Number 6, Misery from 1990, based on a book by Stephen King. This was one of the best films of that year. Stars James Caan as writer Paul Sheldon, who has a bit of an accident while driving in the snow and is saved by his number one fan, Annie Wilkes, played by Kathy Bates. This character is one of the creepiest characters in any film, and yeah, Kathy Bates really deserved her Oscar for this movie. The hobbling scene is still one of the most disturbing scenes I've ever seen in all my life, and you just really are scared for this guy who is at the mercy of this woman who is trying to care for him in her own way, but she has all these crazy outbursts and her own way of communicating her own little cock-a-doodle language, and yeah, she is terrifying. The movie is perfectly made, it's well paced, so many thrills, and even some moments of levity every now and then, a bit of humor every now and then, some dark humor. But this is a thriller worthy of Hitchcock himself, in my opinion. And yeah, fantastic film all the way through, just perfect till the end. Number 5, Rob Reiner's very first movie, the rockumentary to end all rockumentaries, from 1984. This is Spinal Tap, a documentary, a fictional one, about a fictional band, Spinal Tap, where you have Marty DeBurgi, played by Rob Reiner himself, who is a documentarian who goes on tour with this fictional band and sees their highs, sees their lows, sees them playing giant stadiums and then eventually smaller venues. And the songs in this movie from this band, this fictional band, are better than so many of the rock songs that you'll hear on the radio from real bands nowadays. And that's saying something about the state of music and rock and roll, I think. But yeah, Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, and Harry Shearer are terrific as Nigel, David, and Derek. And yeah, so many great moments of classic comedy throughout this movie. You got improvisational bits all throughout the film that make up so many great moments and so many things that are going to crack you up if you watch this movie. You can watch it over and over and over again. It never gets tiresome. Number 4, another film based on a Stephen King story, Stand By Me from 1986, a story of 4 kids, preteens, that are on this journey to find a dead body in the late 50s. It's a coming-of-age tale about these kids that are bonding while they're on this little trip, and they have some highs and lows, some humorous moments, some kind of hairy moments, and I spoke about this a little bit more in depth in its own review at the beginning of this month, so if you want to check that out, I have that available on my channel. But yeah, this is one of my favorite films of all time and deserves a spot on this list because it is, after all, a Rob Reiner film. I believe it was his 3rd film after 1985's The Sure Thing. But yeah, this is an all-time great. You got terrific acting, you got great writing, and terrific direction from Rob Reiner all throughout this film. You got Kiefer Sutherland being a real jerk and, another one of those douchebag characters that he was so good at playing at around this time period. Number 3, The Princess Bride from 1987. This is a timeless family adventure comedy fantasy film where you have a story within a story, where you have Peter Falk, a grandfather, reading to his grandson, played by young Fred Savage, and it's basically a swashbuckling tale where you have a farm boy, played by Cary Elwes, the character of Wesley, who falls in love with the character of Buttercup, played by Robin Wright. You also have Chris Sarandon as Humperdinck, as the villain. You also have Billy Crystal in there. You have Mandy Patinkin as Inigo Montoya, a Spaniard who has one of the all-time greatest lines in any film. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Love that shit. I just can't get enough of this movie. As a kid, I didn't watch stuff like this, but as I got older, I really came to appreciate it once I had kids of my own and try to show it to them. They didn't really go for it, to be honest, but it's okay. I can watch this on my own and still have a blast with it. It's a great time. Number 2, 1992's A Few Good Men. This is a perfect courtroom drama with excellent writing and terrific dialogue all throughout the film. This is the kind of film where the dialogue really is like the action of the film. You have Daniel Kaffee, Tom Cruise's character, who is a Navy attorney who is trying to defend these two Marines that are being charged for the murder of a guy that they were hazing, basically ended up, badly. And so, yeah, you have Demi Moore as Commander Holloway, who is kind of co-assisting Daniel Kaffee, and you also have Kevin Pollak in there as a bit of comic relief. And Kevin Bacon is, always great. He is the prosecutor. And so, yeah, this is just terrific drama from beginning to end with powerhouse performances from all these actors. But Jack Nicholson as Colonel Jessup isn't really in the film all that much, but when he is in the film, makes it his film. But my number one just happens to be another perfect film from Mr. Rob Reiner, one of the greatest romantic comedies ever made, from 1989, starring Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, When Harry Met Sally. This is one of those movies where it's just the dialogue that you just want to keep listening to. It really carries the film. Such great writing. It's kind of a will they or won't they, where you have these two people that meet at the beginning of the film and they kind of go their separate ways. Then they meet up again by accident, and all these little meet cutes and stuff. A great supporting cast: Bruno Kirby, Carrie Fisher, and yeah, you got so many classic, memorable moments. And Billy Crystal is hilarious in this film, and Meg Ryan is terrific. So much fun to be had with this film. There's a bit of drama in there, but for the most part, it's just hilarious all the way through. And it's one of those love stories that you just kind of revisit over and over again because you just love the characters. You want to keep hanging out with these characters, and it's just one of those movies that I revisit time and time again because it never fails to make me laugh. The more one comes to think about the filmography of Rob Reiner, the more you come to realize just how talented he was as a storyteller. He could do a thriller, he could do a comedy, he could do a coming of age story, he could do a courtroom drama. No matter what it was, he could just nail it every time because he was a great artist and a great director. It really is such an awful shame of a thing that happened, but bad things happen, and I guess we just have to take it on the chin and move on. But at least we can celebrate the man, celebrate his art, celebrate his talent, and remember him fondly. The guy was not just a terrific director, he was also a good actor. And if you ever check out All in the Family, I know it's not for everybody. Some people are, kind of sensitive towards that kind of humor, but it really is a great show, and he was a great character in that show. He was the voice of reason. He was the guy that always put a mirror up to Archie Bunker and showed him the ugliness within him. And later on, when he went from acting to directing, he took that very voice and put it in his films, and I think many of us heard it loud and clear because it was an important one, and I will always cherish his films and the work he did as a director, as a storyteller. And yeah, I'll always love the guy, and what can I say? He was a real mensch, as they say. For those of you that are new to the channel, if you're into classics, if you're into movies, if you're into this kind of thing, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications on more reviews from me or movie lists coming out very soon. Please don't forget to comment, share, like, it always helps. And I'll see you guys in the next classic movie review or the next movie list. Everybody take care of each other. Till next time, peace out. God bless.